Welcome, everyone. My name is Leon Garcia, and I am a proud member of the Choose to Change Mentoring Program. The Choose to Change Mentoring Program is a self supporting Christian based group sponsored by the Choose to Change Foundation. There is no fee to attend this class, but we do encourage donations from our members and to anyone else who believe in what we do. The only requirement for membership is a sincere desire to change your life. We are on a mission to restore families by inspiring, challenging, and equipping men to become better fathers, husbands, and leaders in our community. So if you are ready to change your life, then you are in the right place. Through this program, you will learn exactly where to start your life change journey, tools and resources to keep you going, and a support system to help you reach your goals. The Choose to Change mentoring program believes in three key principles of life. Number one, we believe in the life changing power of God through faith in Jesus Christ. Number two, we believe that God has already done his part and that it is your responsibility to learn to do your part. And number three, success or failure is a choice, and the choice is yours. So if you are ready, say, I am ready. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy days to come out here and listen to us, listen to Orlando. Um, I don't always work all the time, but when I do work, this is what happens. You know, you got to start somewhere, right? Because I'm going to the top because it's too crowded at the bottom, and so then by doing this, just starting at the bottom, like I said, and climbing our way up, work is one of those things that we got to do because I tried drug dealing and drug pushing and drug smuggling and drug using, and that didn't take me anywhere but to prison. And I had to climb out of that hole that Orlando always puts us down here. We are a different breed. We start in a hole trying to get out. Normal people start without being in prison. We're not normal. Work is one of the things that we got to do to get ourselves to a better place, to get more money, so we can be financially stable, so that we can provide for our family, for our children that are looking up to us as fathers, as their leaders, to be able to provide for them so that they can have what they need, so that they don't have to be out in the streets looking for things that Father can give them. So, guys, I just encourage you to listen to what Orlando has to say. He has a lot of good stuff to say. He's a man of the quotes. He has so much going on. I remember when I first got here, you guys know already, those of you that are barely, tuning in or don't know me, I sat back there in the back with my arms crossed saying, what can this convict teach me? I'm the same. I've been there. I've done that. What can he teach me? He comes from the same place where I came from. But little did I know that this man was a CEO. Little did I know he was an author. Little did I know that he is running a very successful business, and he went to the top. And I wanted to learn, how can I do the same thing? So by listening to what my brother Orlando Salinas has to say, I think that you guys will be able to do the same thing that he has done and even go greater or beyond. But we have to put our faith in Jesus Christ. But here's our leader here, right here, Orlando Salinas. Here he comes. Orle.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. It's exciting, huh? It's exciting. George, how are you doing? Yeah? Glad to see you here, man. It's awesome. You still making it happen? Awesome. Nobody else is gonna do it for us, brother. Let me turn this off. Make sure I don't hear myself. Everything is awesome. All right, before I get started, guys, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Just a couple of quick announcements as we continue to move forward. I went to the parole office yesterday. There was about 30, 40 people. And those of you watching this for the first time, this is what we do. We help men, especially, and people in recovery, change their lives. In fact, I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about believing in the impossible. And the question of the evening is, what's really possible for you? What's really possible? That's the question I want you to start thinking about as I move forward. What is really possible? This is huge. I better stop right there before I get started. But announcements. Car wash on Saturday. Saturday over on Bicentennial and Nolana, off of Bicentennial and Nolana at the O'Reilly's. You'll see it somewhere around there. Bicentennial and Nolana, between Bicentennial and 23rd. Right. And we're going to be there. Me and the organization Is God is going to be teaming up, and we're going to try to raise a little bit of money. We're all trying to raise money to keep on doing what we're doing, to help more men, more families, more people make it through life, because that's what really matters. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We have a donut fundraiser. We're Krispy Kremes. Krispy Kremes. We're doing fundraising, and we'll share a little bit about that here in a minute more. If you buy a dozen donuts for $13, Krispy Kreme will give us half of that. So then we started it already, but it's going to go on through all the month of August, and you're going to be hearing about that. So we want to promote it more and more and more, so that people, as soon as you buy it digitally, the following day you're going to get a certificate digital, and so you can go pick it up. And those of you watching and those of you who are here, they can pick up those donuts anywhere in the United States. So in other words, you can send it to somebody in another state, another city. If you wanted to send a dozen donuts to your mom, to your sister, to your brother, to your workers. I had a friend of mine. It's awesome. Thank you. To Fresh Imports, if you're watching. They're a business, and he bought 10 dozen and sent them to his customers. So that was pretty awesome. And the last thing I'm going to say is that we're going to be starting something new here in Choose the Change. So I am going to start doing, let me ask you this, guys, those of you that are here, Chavarria, Leon, Sister, Jorge, everybody that's here, let me ask you a question. If everything the reason you're here, Leon, is because, and Chavarria, is that you've come enough and you started learning everything I teach. But you had to come, right? More in order to understand and start putting it together. So what if I did a whole 4-hour seminar, one shot, like Saturday morning from 9 to 1, maybe have some donuts, some coffee, some tacos, right? At Krispy Kreme donuts. And we might have that. And I did just an overview of everything that I teach in here. You think that would have helped you more? I mean, like, will you get it all in one? Yeah. Because I think that, so I'm going to try it. So starting August 6th, on August 6th, here in these rooms, I'm going to have my first 4-hour seminar. And I'm going to teach the whole process in those 4 hours. So, because I'm convinced that if you just get the understanding, that it'll help you to keep moving forward. You'll get locked into life change, right? You'll start understanding that where you're at today, Jorge, is not permanent. It's not going to be forever. You're going to move out of there, man. It's going to get better. You're not going to be broke forever. You're not going to be, it's going to get better if you just stay in the process. If you just keep on fighting. Right, Chavarria? So, but if you're coming, Jorge, so you're going to learn this little by little. But man, I'm telling you, if I can just show it to you in one setting, I think it would really help so many people. So that's what I'm going to start doing every month. Yesterday, I went to the parole office, and there was about 30 to 40 people there. And I asked them the same thing I just asked you. They heard my story. They heard other stories. I just shared a little bit about you, Leon. And I asked them, if I could show you and teach you just a few things in 4 hours, would you come to a seminar? 12 people signed up. 12 people signed up. So, because I know that, when we get out of prison, especially what we do here locally, we get out of prison, there's a lot of things going on. You have your family, you don't have money, you may not have a car, you need a job, you're on parole, you have the monitor. There's a lot of things. We're going to talk a little bit more about that today. But there's a lot going on. You have a lot against you. I understand that. But I'm telling you, once you start reshaping the way you think, Jorge, and instead of seeing the problem as the problem, and you see it as an opportunity, man, I'm telling you, it changes everything. It changes everything. So that's what I'm going to do. August 6th, we're having a 4-hour seminar here. And it's going to be designed specifically for the men coming out of prison, for those new guys that are coming out. But you're going to be able to invite somebody. So like you invited your brother when you first came, remember? It'd be an awesome time for him to come. Because I promise you, you'll walk out different. At least that's the goal. So that's what we're doing. So does anybody have any questions here? No. So let's get going. Let's get started. I'm excited, man. I'm excited because there's so many things going on in my life, so many good things. After 25 years of doing what I do, and what do I mean by that? Of just working on myself, on becoming a better person, a better father, a better leader, a better husband, a better Christian. I've been working on this for 25 years because it takes time. And I'm excited because, I'm getting a little older. Yeah. But here's the deal, brother. Man, if you start living life right, because most people live life wrong and end up miserable. Even in their old age. But if you start living right, we have a better future at the end. Life is really all about memories. Promise you. Talk to any 80, 90-year-old. And all they have is what? Memories. Regrets? We'll always have. But man, memories. And that's what I'm trying to live for. Memories. We already have some sad memories, right? But man, I'm telling you, we can recreate some incredible memories for ourselves. So let's talk about that today. Let's create some memories tonight. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Awesome, let's do it. So I decided many, many years ago that I wanted to help people change their lives. So I've decided to do just that. To help people change their lives. Help people achieve success. Help people overcome the obstacles that they're facing in life. Why? Because of something I just shared with you. Because I found out that the biggest challenge we all face in life is life. Yep. The biggest, greatest challenge that you will ever face is life. Period. You're going to deal with life, and it's going to beat you down. How many have been beat down by life? I'm telling you, it will beat you down. But I like my one of my first inspirations, right? Rocky Balboa. He's out of control. He said, it doesn't matter. Life is not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit, right? And keep on going. That's how life works. And I believe that we all been hit. The greatest challenge you'll ever face in life is life. Life itself. So the major question you should all be asking yourself every single day, and you'll hear me say this all the time, what makes life work well? And if life isn't working well for you, What are you going to change? Who needs to change? What needs to change? Tell me, somebody. That's the question I asked myself over 25 years ago in prison. My life wasn't working well. 13 years in prison, 10 years of drug addiction. My life was not working well. And when I learned this principle, this idea of thinking, think about that for a minute. Thinking, I just started thinking. Right now, you might be sitting in front of a bunch of problems, but start using your mind, your head. Let's think a little bit. What's really possible for you? Is success really possible? Is success really possible for you? Or just the smart people? Is it just for those church people? The educated? Is it just for the educated? The pretty people? Who's success for? What is success for? What's really possible for you? This is started just I'm just excited about this. Because this is questions that I asked so many years ago. So the question of the evening is, what is really possible for you? Ask yourself. In your life. I mean, really, think about it. What is really possible? Well, let me ask you like this. I love asking this question. How many here just want to be losers in life? Anybody? Come on, anybody? Hey, I said I've had some takers. I had a guy get up and say, you know what, I'm of this and this and this, and I'm going to be this and this forever. Say, hey, no problem, dude. Go about your business. No, nobody decides that. Now, many people decide to give up, right? I understand that. I know about that. I remember just wanting to kill my worthless self. I know. So let's talk about success. Let's talk about success for a minute. Because I didn't understand success when I started talking about these things. Success. What's success? Success means a lot of things for different people, right? Success for some people means a lot of money. Success for some people means a lot of girls. Success for some people means a lot of drugs. Yes or no? I used to think that having a lot of beer and a lot of cocaine was success. I'm serious. I thought I was on top of the world. I'm not lying. Am I lying or what? No, that's how twisted we are. I thought success was, some people think success is having a lot of cars or a lot of money or a big house. What's success for you? Some people's success is just being healthy. I like that one. For some people, success is just being able to see. Success for some people is just being able to walk. So success means different things for different people. What does success mean to you? Let's talk about success for a minute. Let me tell you one thing that I know for sure that success, let me read this. Let me tell you one very important thing about success that you may not realize, and that is that success requires failure. Let me repeat that. Success requires failure. If that is true, how many here that success requires failure? How many here qualify for success? Man, you're in the right place, guys. I'm sure glad you're here. Let's talk about failure. Because I remember I was studying business one day, and this guy said, you know what, if you want to succeed, go fail. And go fail quick. The faster you fail, the sooner you'll be successful. I didn't understand that. Today I understand it so clearly. Let's talk about failure for a minute. Who knows anything about business? Did you know that most businesses fail in the first, or at least 20% of businesses fail in the first year? Actually, I think it's higher than that. Let me see. Or they fail in the first 2 years. By the 5th year, 50% people have failed. The 5th year in prison. By the 10th year, over 75% fail. Why? Because it's not easy. I almost failed in the first month. I filed bankruptcy. I have a business. About 5 years into my business, maybe less. For years, my wife told me, just get a job. I borrowed money from my mom forever. I didn't know how to do it. I learned. 6. All business people have failed. All business people have failed. Let's talk about, what about parolees? That's who we talk about. Let's talk about us here. Those of you that have been on parole or in prison or on probation or out of rehab where you've lost everything, right? Let's talk about the people that coming out of prison. Listen to these stats. According to the healthypeople.com, says in the U.S. releases over 7 million people from jail every day. No, I'm sorry, every year. Every year, 7 million people every year are released from jail. 600, over 500,000 are released from prison every year. However, people keep coming back. Within 3 years of their release, 2 out of 3 come back. Are released, and more than 50 of them are reincarcerated. Or they're rearrested. 2 out of 3. In other words, what's that, 75%? 75? 75% of people are rearrested within the first 3 years, and 50% of them go back to prison. Formerly incarcerated individuals often have difficulty securing employment and housing because of their criminal history. Who's gone through that? Listen to this study. Simon University study says that when prisoners in the United States are released, they face an environment that is challenging and actively deters them from becoming productive members of society. Within 3 years of their release, 70% of ex-offenders are rearrested. With more than 2 million people incarcerated in the United States, recidivism, people coming back to prison, harms both the family and the inmates and society in general, as taxpayers continue to support a broken system that sets ex-offenders sets them up for failure. Sets ex-offender up for failure once they are released. And it's true. It's true. So those of you that have been in prison, and I'm always with people that have been in prison. I know you're up against the wall. The system is not designed to make it easier for you. It's designed to make it harder. It's called parole. That's just how it is. But that's how life is. That's why I dig the hole, right, that I put. When I dig the hole in here, when I say, you want to climb the ladder of success, you want to climb the ladder of success of what's really possible for you. You start here at this place here, sad and depressed, and don't know where to start. That's the normal person, right? But not us. Us, we make this big old hole, and we're down here in this hole, right? Triste. We dig a hole. That's what drug addicts do. They dig a hole. That's what ex-convicts do. They dig a hole, right? That's what our pride does, right? We dig a hole. So failure is inevitable for success. So if you're an ex-con, you qualify for success. Let's talk about fatherlessness for a minute. Remember, I'm talking about failures, which is a requirement for success. That's what we're talking about. That failure is a requirement for success. I read these stats all the time about fatherlessness. And this is why we're in a mess. That's why our youth are in a mess. Young people are being destroyed more and more. Why? Because they don't have a father. It's a mess, I'm telling you. And nobody cares. And those of us that do care, there's just so much we can do, right? You can only help your own family. I'm doing my best to just bring awareness and help my own son, help as many people as I can. That's all I can do. That's it. But see, that's why I believe in the impossible. Because you're going to have to. If you want to change your life, if you want your life to get better, this is what this is all about. I knew I was going to have to believe in the impossible. Chris had to believe in the impossible. Leon, all of us, you have to. 63% of all youth suicides come from fatherless homes. No fathers in the home. 85% of children who with behavior disorders are fatherless. 80% of all rapists were fatherless. 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. And it's a wicked deal. It really, really is. Really, really wicked. 75% of all youth patients in rehabs. 75% of them, of all these kids, teenagers, and youth in rehab centers, drug rehab centers, fatherless homes. With kids with father in the home are having a problem, right? Imagine without one. You know, I'm dealing with my own son. I have a good son. You know, and I'm directing them, and I'm giving. You know, because when they're teenagers, I'm learning you have to kind of force them. You know, you just kind of force them to do certain things. And I think of a couple of kids that I know are fatherless, that I see here in church, that I see at his school, and I can see so clearly that if I didn't force my son to do certain things, he's gonna be hopeless. And I see these kids like they're hopeless because they don't have that father, somebody to tell them it's wrong, even though they hate it, right? But they don't have nobody to tell them. So what happens? You know what happens, right, brother? You fall into this abyss. And you get twisted like you never thought of. You know, and I think about that, you know, when I think about you, Chris, and I think about so many people that, you know. And you know, if you don't mind, I use Chris as an example. I mean, I know he's a good guy. He has a good heart. I know he is. But he fell into this abyss because he didn't have a father. Nobody to guide him. It hurt him. I know. So I imagine fatherlessness is wicked, man. So what's really possible? Let's talk about success now. Because I'm so glad that you guys are here. Because you guys are what I do this for. Because I know I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. But man, if you just get a glimpse of what's over that hill that you're up against, or over that mountain that you're up against, if you just get a glimpse, right, you'll go back down and go find some. Come on, man, it's better over here. Like Caleb and Joshua, right? Man, it's good. Man, it's hard. It's not easy. You're going to fail. But man, it's so much better over here. So I use stories. You know, let me read this. Let me read this really quick. I looked this up. You look this up. You know, I read an article. I heard someone speak about this one day. They said there was a study done of 300 world-class leaders and famous people. Over 300 world-class leaders and famous people who 80% of them all started from some kind of disadvantage, whether it be poverty or something in physical. 80% of them. I read another stat, I don't remember what it was, that in America, you know, I think like 80% of all rich people, tell me, you might know this stat, 80% of all the rich people in America today are first generation. 80% are first generation wealthy. What does that mean? That means that they were failures before they became wealthy. 80%. Anybody ever heard of Steven Spielberg? He was a failure before he began. $3 billion and brought him 3 Academy Awards, but the master of the blockbuster was rejected twice by the University of Southern California. Aside from that, this director also struggled with the dyslexia, which made it harder to cope with life. Thomas Edison, he was a failure. He was. You read more about him, and you'll find out that he was a failure. Not because he was not trying, but because success requires failure. Anybody heard of Walt Disney? Listen to what they told him. Can you imagine this child without Disney? Well, it could have easily been if Walt had listened to his former newspaper editor. The editor told Walt that he lacked imagination and no good ideas. Well, never mind. Walt went on to create the culture icon that bears his name. About Albert Einstein. Same thing. Let me see, who else do I have? Abraham Lincoln. Anybody anything know about him? Failure. He became the president of the United States. The first president, right? No, that was George Washington. Okay. Yep. Oh, there you go. Jerry Springer? Jerry Springer. Jerry Seinfeld. What's that guy from that does like this, the superhero? No. The Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man. What's that guy's name? Failure. Drug addict. Prison. Tim Allen. So, and I can go on and on and on with these guys. What's that? Well, I have you here. Don't worry. I can tell you about Juan Peña. Let's bring it home closer now. See, we tend to think that people out there, maybe they can do it. No, what about you? See, this is where the rubber meets the road. What about you? This is why I love inspiring people. Because I can talk all day about Juan Peña, right? I'm reading the people I have here. Oscar Cruz. What about Rudy? 4 times to prison. What about Eduardo Chavarria? Tank boss. What about Frank Salazar? Superman. Talking about Frank Salazar, let me tell you a little bit about Frank Salazar. Frank Salazar was crazy. He really was. Twisted in his own mind. Let me tell you something about Frank. Really, he does, people that know Frank, they don't really know Frank. Frank doesn't even know how to drive. How old are you? 44 years old, don't even know how to drive. But let me tell you why he inspires me. Because of how he was treated, kind of like Chris here. He had his own story, how he was treated by his mother, his mind never developed. But when he came into this room, I challenged him. Because he kept on telling me, I can't do this, and I can't do this, and I can't do this. I said, no, that's not true, brother. You can. They told him he was stupid and ignorant when he was young. I said, come on, you can do something. He said, I don't know how to do anything. Yes, you can, man. What can you do? And one day he told me, well, you know what? I can draw. And most people would say, draw? I said, well, draw. Is that all you can do? Draw. And he started drawing. He showed me his little picture. Look, hey, look what I draw on a sheet of paper. And another little picture one day. He started drawing. He started drawing. What, about 5 years ago? 6 years ago? Just started drawing. Before you know it, he got a little channel on YouTube. Cálmate, Frank. Drawing. He likes drawing cartoons. In my mind, I'm like, okay. And many other people's mind, like, oh, cartoons. Frank, the cartoon. But guess what? He published his first cartoon book. Yeah. No, this is not the first one. And little by little, I mean, he already sold some of these. I sponsored him. I'm in there, just so you know. Sponsored him. I said, I'll help you out. He puts it on, I don't even know how he does it. He puts it on some kind of online, sold it for $20. It's a story. He's one character, and she's another character. It's a pretty powerful deal. Look at that. Comics. So anybody that donates today $10 or more, will get a book from Frank. That way we can help him out. $10 donation and you get a book. Well, you're gonna have to make another one if you buy more. What about Chris Garcia? Leon Garcia. ¿Hay cosas? Los dos Garcias? I mean, see, this is the kind of stuff that wires me up, man. Because I know where we come from. You know what I mean? Yep. And then they tell me, and it bothers me that somebody won't do it. That they won't get up and do something. When I know somebody can get up and do some great things if they wanted to. You live in America. You know there's books that people read on how exactly they changed their life, and all you got to do is read it. When I heard that in prison, I said, wow, that makes so much sense. I started reading. And let me tell you something. I didn't understand a lot of stuff. The process of change, I didn't understand that. You don't understand. I'm not that smart. But when I started putting it, in fact, it wasn't until I got out of prison that I actually started putting it together. That it started forming. When I started choose the change, it forced me. I forced myself. Some of you are going to have to force yourself to believe in the impossible. I literally forced myself to put myself in front of you guys and teach you what I knew. I said, how am I going to do that? I started looking. I started learning. I started watching people speak. I started learning. I took classes. I've invested thousands and thousands, literally thousands of dollars in the $20,000, $50,000, $60,000 into my learning and how to teach what I teach. Literally. I've invested that much since I've been out of prison. I'm going through a course right now. You can do it. Success is different for everybody, but here's what success is. Success is the continual achievement of worthy causes. It might not be worthy to me, but it's worthy to you. The success is the continual achievement of worthy causes. This is why the AA program is so powerful. Because they say one day at a time. Man, one day, I've been sober 6 days. Man, that's such an achievement. But it has to be a continual achievement of worthy causes. See, because success is not something you pursue. Because you never reach it. It's something you become. You become something. Let me read it. Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. That's how success works. It's something you attract. That's exactly what I see happening to you, Chris. You're becoming something different, something better in business, the parent, the father. And you're attracting these things. That's how it works. Same thing with you, Leon. It's the same thing. Same thing. It's the same thing. Chavarria, it's the same thing. You become something, and that attracts something different. If you're a gang leader, what do you think that's going to attract? That's who you are, right? You're a gang leader. You're this and you're that. You're a drug dealer. You're a whatever it is that you become is what you're going to attract. Does that make any sense to anybody? Well, if it doesn't, I'm telling you, you need to figure that out. Success. It's not something you pursue. It's something you become. It's something you become, yes. We read it again. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And that's how that works. I can go on and on with that. But I love talking about success. When I first started talking about success in church, people look at me crazy, like, oh man, all you want to do is succeed. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to overcome. And unless you want it, listen to what I just said. I wanted that. And this is where it all starts, I'm telling you. That's why it starts with desire. That's why I teach this so much. Because if you don't want it, then you're never going to get it. You could hope for it and dream for it, but you got to want it. You've got to want it. Otherwise, you won't do the work involved. You won't stay up late. You won't work in the sun all day. You won't get up early. You won't walk to work. You'll make all the excuses in the world if you don't want it. Nothing what I say matters. But if you want it, I'm telling you, the sky's the limit. And this is what I teach. Start from there and go to here. And you start, just continue believing in the impossible. So what's really possible for you? Any questions? Hold on, brother. By the way, as you start speaking, I'm gonna pass around the donation bucket. Again, guys, don't worry if you don't have anything. That's fine. I'm just gonna put $1. It's that's how we raise money here.
I used to think that there were shortcuts, right?
Yeah, me too.
When
I
I
was
first
always looking
started-
for them.
Because
Pass it here.
everybody makes it seem like once I do this, I can withstand. They make it seem like, and there is some, in very few occasions, and this is where people fool you. There is some glitch when they see you get a sales job and you blow up, and But the issue, what I've learned and what I have been learning to understand is that in business, and especially in my business, there isn't any shortcuts. You gotta lay down the groundwork. It's like really the first 5 years, you're really just laying down your foundation.
Yep. In a
Now,
business. You're talking about business.
In business. But
Yeah.
even in your personal life.
Yeah.
Before me and my daughter got to where we are now, I had to lay down the foundation
Yeah.
for me and my daughter to have
There's a
relationship.
process.
Everything that you do, you have to lay down the groundwork. You can't just, it's gonna happen right away. And a lot of people where they get hung up is that they're not ready for the long haul. Because a lot of times I think they believe that once they do certain things, everything's gonna fall in place. And if you're not ready mentally for hang-ups, you're not for like setbacks, then it's gonna be easier, because the easiest thing to do is when you find your first resistance in your new life, I'm gonna go back to
what you wanna
your
know.
comfort zone.
Yep.
And that's not, you were about to have a breakthrough, and then I'm gonna go party, boom, you got 15 years in prison because you drove under the influence and hit somebody.
Yep.
And everything went down the drain, and you were about to have a breakthrough. And I think that's the biggest thing that I would like to teach people. Like, man, when you feel that resistance, that pressure, and you're thinking about giving up, you're about to go through a breakthrough. You don't even know it. That's why you're getting that much resistance, because it's the way the universe works. I don't know how to explain it.
How many times did you go to prison, brother?
I went to prison 3 times in my life.
How much time did you spend altogether?
Including my juvenile years, 13 and a half.
13 and a half. And I wanted you to share a little bit, también, Leon, if you don't mind. Talk to me about your failure and then your success.
Well, to begin with, it's not easy, you
Okay,
know,
I like that.
because if it was easy, then anybody could do it, you know. But, I went to prison también 4 times. I did about the same time que hizo brother, about 13 years también, throughout the 4 times that I've gone in there. And every time that I would get out, brother, I always started at the bottom. And then it's nothing. You're at the bottom, literally at the bottom, like you have that little hole dug in there. No car, no nothing, no job, no money, no nothing, right? Just the $50 that they give you the $100, right? Son 50 cuando sales y luego 50 cuando llegas para parole. But and like you said, you start at the bottom and you have to go all the way to the top. Now really now that I've been out for so long, that I've been, and then this class actually helped me a lot in coming to church, because even though I was out and stayed out for a number of years, I really didn't start to even believe that I could succeed, you know what I mean, in doing what I do. Now I got the licenses that I need to run the business. My uncle, he's ready to retire.
Wow.
So I tell him, don't retire all the way. I still need you in the office, ¿me entiendes? But and it's hard, like brother says, it's not easy, and when you're feeling that resistance that he says, because it's the breakthrough that we're about to have, and it's very true what he said, that don't give up. You can't give up just because it starts to get hard, because if it was easy, then like I said, anybody would be able to do it. But even though I didn't have a high school diploma, I got my GED. These licenses that I hold now, people have to go to college for a number of years, brother, to even have the license that I have.
Wow.
And then you have to get approved through the state of Texas, because these are state of Texas licenses that I have to even be able to take the test. They have to do a background check and everything. So
Wow.
that was just God moving in my life and being able to just say, you know what, this guy, he blinded the eyes of people, you know what I mean? Just so that I could get these licenses that people never really thought that I could even do it, I passed these tests. The normal people that take the test, only about 30% pass the test the first time around. And then only about 50% pass the test the 3 times. And then they tell them, you need to look for another career. Because they're hard tests, and it's a lot of math dealing with it. But I got these licenses, and it was just by the grace of God, so that I can start to be successful, to be able to, so that my children can have something that they can have, you know what I mean?
Not start, brother. Continue
Continue, yeah. So that they can continue to do these things, and be
to
able
be
to
successful.
to be successful, and that's where it starts, But it all started with me choosing to change, brother, because I didn't want to change. I wanted to continue doing the same thing that I was doing, even though it was leading me back to the same place where I always came out of, trying to get to the top, and I always ended up back in the hole, back at the bottom. But it was just a choice that I had to do. And that's why when I read up that sign that you have up there at the minute, it says successful living doesn't happen by chance. It only happens by choice. And it was really a choice that I had to make, and just put my foot down and just, cut ties and do what I had to do, for not only for myself, but for my children, because I didn't want anybody to be telling my children what to do while I was in prison.
Yep.
So because there is going to be somebody out there that's going to tell them what to do. You know what I mean? Like you said, that gang leader that's whispering in their ear and telling them and getting them involved in things that they're not supposed to get involved in.
Yep.
But why? Because as a father, as a man, we're not there to lead our children. That's why when you said you have to push them to do what they want, they don't always want to do what's right, but we have to push them to do that. And that's only by being able to change our ways and being able to choose to change. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem in our society today. A lot of men don't want to become men. They don't want to be the fathers. They don't want to be the husbands. They don't want to be the leaders, because we're so selfish, and that's why I do what I do. So, guys, I want to just what was your name, son, that you walked in? Andrew. So I don't think you were here when I announced that August 6th. I don't know where you spell August. August 6th at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. August 6th, here in this room. Here in this room. There's going to be maybe 30 people. We're going to have a seminar. And I'm going to teach everything this is what I teach in these rooms. It's called the process of change, the 7 major pieces to life change. I'm going to go through every single one of them in 4 hours. And so if you want to come, I'm telling you, it'll change your life, man. I'm telling you, it will change your life. And so we got other people going to come. So August 6th from 9 to 1 p.m. We're going to have some donuts, tacos, coffee, and we're going to have a good time. So did anybody learn anything? Anybody get something out of this today? Yeah? All right, well, let's keep doing it. So again, we have our promotion, Krispy Kremes. If you can go to that domain right there where it says donate ctc.com. You can send that to anybody. They can buy donuts, and the next day, the following day, after you purchase it, you're going to get a email back where you can, you know how they have that scan a barcode. You go get your donuts at anywhere in the United States. You can send them to somebody if you want it. So that's the promotion that we have for the month of August. All August, we're going to be doing that. And just to guys let you know, I'll let you know a little secret. Don't tell nobody. Now, we're going to have our first annual, really not our first annual, but it's going to be the first official Choose to Change, Believing in the Impossible dinner. And we're going to have it here in the church. So we're going to raise some money doing that. And it's going to be really, really good. That's going to be in November. It's going to be a Friday night. We're still putting all the logistics together, but it's going to be really good. Yes, sir. Not to cook, but stay tuned. We need volunteers. In fact, we need some Saturday. You want to help us Saturday? What, cooking? Yeah? You need a job cooking or what?
I need a job, but I can.
Okay. All right, we'll talk here in a minute. But that's what we're here for, guys. We're here to help you change your life. What else? Oh, there's the car wash. On Saturday, we need people to help us. We're teaming up with another organization from our church. In fact, they have their meetings here. Right? You have your meetings here, brother? Yes. They're right there in the corner. The Intervention Support Group Overcoming Depression. It's a very powerful group there. We're teaming up with them on Saturday. We're going to be there from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. We're going to be washing cars to raise money. It's for donations. We're going to be for donations. So that's where you can help us out. You like, just come help us out, wash some cars. I'm going to be washing cars. So, or holding a sign or something, But that's all I have. Anybody have any other questions? Remember, you get anybody give $10 or more. If you're watching, you're going to get a free comic book. It's called Art and Story by Frank Salazar and Anna Rube. Rube, how do you say that name? Rob? Yeah, it's a pretty cool little fiction character that he's drawn up. Pretty cool. But anyway, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Amen.